Hey, what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by I Am Alejo. It's titled Naomi Campbell Evil Behavior Exposed by influencer Elsa Majimbo. Sorry if I'm butchering that. But yeah, she's very popular on TikTok. What is her affiliation with Naomi? Is she trying to be a model? But this is very strange. I've reacted to Naomi Campbell a lot over here. I usually stan her, but if she's doing some weird stuff, behind the scenes, then, she definitely needs to be exposed. So, yeah, let's hear what she has to say. Let's watch.
Talk about Naomi Campbell. Talk about Naomi Campbell. There's no me.
Oh,
Let
she's
me
so
your
pretty.
mentor. Relax. Relax. I'm here to tell you today what happened. So, in December 2021, no, in December of 2020, Naomi was coming to Nairobi to do some shopping. She was on holiday, but on a remote place. So she was in Nairobi doing shopping. And I texted her and she told me she's in Nairobi. So I was so excited to meet her. She was the first celebrity I was ever going to meet. Guys, I
Kenyan?
was through the roof. She texted me, she was like, hey, I'm here. So she texted me the location. I went directly. I went with my brother. So my brother and I, we met her, we did some shopping. And as we're shopping, she's like, oh, the plane that's taking us back actually has couple more seats. Do you and your brother want to join us on holiday? Hell yes. So I was like, oh, that would be so lovely. But I texted my dad, I said, hey, get the car ready, I'm coming to the house. We are going to the airport in an hour to meet Naomi Campbell so she can take me on vacation. So we go on vacation. We had like a very nice vacation. Naomi took care of me the whole entire time. We were staying on the beach, or doing this, and then that, eating, just having fun, what people do on vacation. And this one time we were on the beach, Naomi was like, oh, we should do a documentary, a film about you live in Kenya. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fantastic. She introduced me to a couple of people in Hollywood. It was so lovely. So a couple of people, she was on vacation, were coming to Nairobi after the vacation. They were staying at the Kempinski. So I went to see them at the Kempinski when the whole thing was over. So I sat down with them, I was talking to one of them, and one of them was like, oh, it's so...
She putting on so much fucking lotion. You know what? I love to see it. One thing black people won't be is ashy. Okay, you will not catch us ashy. Well, there are exceptions, obviously. But we take our moisturizing routine very, very seriously.
Like, how did you meet Naomi? And I was like, oh no, I texted her on Instagram, blah, blah. And she's like, oh yeah, she told us she made you and she built you and she made your career. And I was like, what? No, that's not what happened. And I was like, you mean helped me and promoted me? And she was like, no, what you have is because of her. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. It is very important you remember that part later. Okay, So time goes by. March 2022. We have jumped into March 2022. I get a phone call. My phone is ringing. Naomi Campbell. Oh, so I pick up. I'm like, hey sis, how are you? How are you doing? And she's like, Elsa, how dare you? Oh. So I'm in shock, right? I'm in shock. I don't know what's going on. So let me tell you what happened. The context of this phone call. So I had just finished the previous year, I had done a documentary on my life, about bullying, about growing up with colorism, all these things, about comedy, where I fell in love with comedy. So the film was debuting at Tribeca Film Festival, and someone from Tribeca asked Naomi if she was coming, and Naomi thought the film was the film she had suggested to me on the beach about me leaving Kenya. So I was like, no, that's not what it's about. I tried explaining to her. And then she was like, I'll sue you for the rights of this movie and I'll win, right? So I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm telling you, it's not about that. So I tell her, let me call you tomorrow. And she asked me, why didn't you tell me when I told you at the beach? And I was like, you're Naomi Campbell. I was starstruck. It took me very long to process that moment. And I was like, I'll call you tomorrow. So the next day I had a flight. The flight I was taking from
Girl, no, this is a lot.
Ghana, where I met that guy, actually. That's the time I was taking that flight. So I was supposed to call her the next day, but it was a 22-hour flight. And in Ethiopia, there was no service. So I couldn't call her. So I called her the day after. Immediately, I landed in Ghana. So she's the first person I called. I'm like, hey, blah blah. Like, are you free to talk? And she tells me, you were supposed to call me tomorrow. You were supposed to call me yesterday. You didn't call me yesterday, which she was very right about. And she said, I have the Met Gala, and she was like, this is the last time I'm speaking to you. Have a nice life. Oh. And she hung up. Which I was very saddened by the situation, right? But I was like, if that's how she truly feels, because I respect people's space. So I was like, if that's how she truly feels, fine, it's okay. So I let it go. So after that, like a few months, things started going very badly for me. Things started going haywire, and I didn't think it was. I thought it was because of the situation. Let me not lie, but I was like, also it can be sure. So I was like, let me go, because also having someone like Naomi Campbell not liking you in the industry is not a good thing. So I went to her, I apologized. I already apologized when the situation had happened, but I went and I apologized again and again. I started calling her, I started texting her, and then one day she just texted me and she was like, stop calling me. I have a child to take care of. So after that, I just said, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I started drinking. That's why I even quit alcohol. I started drinking. I started drinking a lot. Yeah. And then, because I wasn't sure why things were going so wrong, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then a few months later, I met Edward Eniful at a party, and Edward Eniful is oh my goodness, he's one of the people I adore the most. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's Edward, I have to go say hi. So I'm like, hey Edward, I'm such a big fan. And he looks at me, he's like, I know you. And then he said something that made me think the situation with Naomi was causing like some of the trials and tribulations I was currently going through. So I was like, you know what, I need to fix this. So I went to one of our mutual friends and I was like, hey, please, can you tell Naomi, because I knew they were going to.
All right, girl, you are oily enough,
like, hey,
child.
Please tell Naomi to text me. And she was like, yeah, I'll make sure, and blah, blah. So a couple of days went by, and then Naomi...
Maybe it's because she's talking, because I tend to do things with my hands sometimes when I'm talking as well. Things that I don't even need to be doing. So I'm going to give her that. Because, girl, there's not a patch of dry skin on you. Nowhere.
She texted me, she was like, yeah, I let that go a long time ago. I'm not going to...
Sorry, it's just distraction.
She sent me a very lovely text. She said, Happy New Year. So after that happened, this was the New Year 2023. So after that happened, every single step I made, every single move I made, I told Naomi. Every single thing I did, I told Naomi. I would breathe. I tell Naomi. Whether she would reply or not, I would send her a message because I didn't want what happened to happen again. And after some time, after a few weeks, I called my mom and I was like, this isn't normal. This doesn't feel healthy. It kind of feels, it doesn't feel too nice. There's nothing healthy or normal about this. And I was like, I don't want to be in a situation like this. So after that, I just decided it is healthier for me to completely remove myself from the situation and get myself out. And you remember earlier when I said my friends said, the ones Naomi had introduced me to, when they said, oh, Naomi had made you. You remember when I said that? So I just want to acknowledge that and say that even through all this, right? Even through everything that happened, first of all, number one, obviously I played a part in it because I am part of the story. In any situation you are in, you play a part, you play a role. And I had my role and I apologize for my role. And something else, when she said she made me, I'm not going to speak on that, but I will say that Naomi did give me a lot of credibility, especially when I first entered the industry. She gave me a lot of credibility. And that's not something that I can just say, oh, this happened and Naomi, blah, blah. I can't say that. She did hold me up high and she introduced me to a lot of people. She made me feel special. She did a lot of things for me. So I wouldn't say she made me, but she did play a big role in a lot of the things that I did in...
Okay, I didn't know what the music was coming from.
That space during that time. So yeah, me and her, we're not friends, we're not enemies, we're not anything, just not really in association. So we're just strangers.
Welcome back to my channel, Mother Suckers. Hey, I am Eloho. So I wanted to bring this story to your attention if you didn't know. Recently, Kenyan influencer Elsa Majimbo shared a story time on TikTok about how she met and fell out with Naomi Campbell. The video got millions of views, but she did end up deleting it and said, "I stand by my words, content in my decision. The tweets are deleted due to seeking peace, not fear. Y'all need to understand this is something that happened since I was 19. My goal is now happiness." And so people were actually shocked to find out this was the truth going on behind the scenes between her and Naomi Campbell. If you don't know, Elsa went viral in 2020. Here's one of her videos.
If you don't spend your money, then who will? What if all your money ends? I've been broke before. I didn't die. If I spend money, I'm paying taxes. So I'm building my country. It's called being patriotic.
I'm about to say, I always like the one when she was eating chips.
Being rich.
And so people fell in love with Elsa's videos. You have this African girl who's super funny. She comes on camera how she wants, when she wants, and says whatever the hell she wants. But we watched her blossom into a butterfly and really become a fashion girly iconic, if you ask me. And many people did credit Naomi Campbell for this transition in her career.
You know, I wore this dress the other day for a gala. And I got questions from the magazines, and Ebony was hosting the gala, and I was being asked, who design are you wearing? Who are you wearing? That dress was $18, and I wore it because it was cheap and cute. I feel like for one night, it is absolutely insane to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a dress. Elsa, but you can afford it. So what though? Do not spend money just because you have it. I think no one should prove anything to anyone. If you can be cheap, be cheap. Yeah. I choose to be cheap. And I like it because I make money and I keep my money.
She became the new it model-esque girl from Kenya, gracing the covers of magazines, going to galas and industry events. But as we know, everything that glitters in Hollywood is not gold. She says that her fallout with Naomi Campbell led to her abusing alcohol and tweeted, "Naomi obviously never force-fed me alcohol. The situation led to the action. My action. As I said, my part was played and responsibility is mine." She also tweeted, "She threatened to sue and post screenshots of a time I asked her to help me with some older white executives that were trying to sleep with me. I'm now moving on and leaving it in the past." Now, I know Elsa says that she want to keep things in the past, but after that tweet, there's absolutely no way society can do that at this point. Because what do you mean Naomi Campbell threatened to expose messages of you asking her for help because some older white male executives were trying to sexually assault you? What do you mean? What older white male executives? We need names. Dates,
saying essays of
somebody gotta go to jail.
She said sleep with her.
When they met in 2020, she was 18 years old. Her mentor, Naomi Campbell, was about 50 at that time, old enough to be her mama.
Definitely young.
She was obviously enamored and starstruck to be on this platform and level with Naomi Campbell. And so, yes, Naomi Campbell had the responsibility of protecting her, of watching out for her mentally and physically. And so if she's reaching out to you saying, "Hey, these older white men are trying to sleep with me," what was your response? What was your way of protecting her? Why would you then throw that in her face as blackmail? This story time really took a turn for the worse, and there was so much unsaid. And I don't know if this is related, but I do follow Elsa on Instagram, and I remember she posted that this man has been stalking her and following her and harassing her for 8 months. And she says the only thing worse than a psycho is a psycho with money. She says, "Whoever owns this car has been stalking me from last year, June, and the last video is him almost following me to my house today before I spotted him. It's not safe for me out there, mostly due to him. I've tried everything. If anyone has any info on him, please let me know." And so she does live live in Kenya. So if you have any information and you live in the area, please everyone report this license plate to the authorities. Now, I bring this up because it's interesting how she mentioned in the video that ever since she agreed to do a documentary that Naomi Campbell thought she stole the idea from her, she said her life has been in turmoil ever since. And so I'm actually afraid for her at this point. We hear a lot of stories about models in Africa, going missing, being assaulted, being unalived, with no guarantee of security and justice. So this woman needs to be protected at all costs. She's come out against a giant in the industry, Naomi Campbell, and all of these older white male executives. Again, protect this woman at all costs. But y'all let me know your thoughts down.
Like I said, in the past, I have said positive things about Naomi, and, I have thought she was funny, blah, 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 but fuck all that. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There's always something associated with this woman. So I feel like she is on some shady shit. And wasn't she on the alleged list, the infamous list? So I don't know about her at all. And I definitely believe Elsa. I feel like she has no reason to lie. Like, what would she gain from this? If anything, she's putting, herself in jeopardy of something bad happening to her and people shunning her even more. So she has everything to lose to even expose this information. So I believe every word. Naomi is trifling. What in the hell was going on? I hope she finds the peace that she's looking for, and I hope that, nothing bad does happen to her. It is odd that she has a stalker that she's had for a while. That also makes me think, is that related to Naomi? Is Naomi sending people after her? Like, what weird shit is taking place? It's just really fucked up, that this is happening to her. And Naomi, she does have a really bad reputation now that I think about it. People have said that, she's a bitch, she's not a good person, XYZ. Tyra even exposed her at one point. So yes, again, where there's smoke, there's fire. Fucked up. Y'all let me know what y'all think though. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.